Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet an incredible artist who turns guitars into masterpieces. We'll explain next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I'm a broadcaster, and so I have certain gifts, but I can't see the unseeable. And then you have other brilliant people like the young lady who's in my studio right now, who sees a guitar and she sees the possibilities of it turning into a brilliant masterpiece. So Amy Voss is in the studio with Glass Axes by Amy Voss. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, I want to go to the two shot because this is a masterpiece, and that's Prince, right?
Yes, that is his logo when he was the artist formerly known as Prince.
Which is just beautiful, and,
Thank you.
And people look at that. So I want to talk about the very early days. When did it first occur to you that you could turn a guitar into a masterpiece?
Well, I've always loved music. It's my greatest passion next to sports. And when I graduated from college, I worked in the music business. And from there, my journey in corporate America, if you will, took me into radio and then television. And then I got pregnant with my son. And I knew he was going to be my only child. So I didn't want to miss anything. So I quit the corporate grind, and but I couldn't just sit still and do nothing. I'm not that kind of person. So a friend of mine at the time was an artist, and she was mixed media, and she had done some like mosaic type work on an acoustic guitar. And when I saw that, it just really spoke to me, because I was like, that's so cool to use something that isn't your typical canvas and turn it into something, you know, that's personal to you. So I just kind of started messing around with it, and I'm self-taught. I've never taken a glass class, but over the years, it's you know, kind of evolved into, you know, what you see here. It did not always look like that when it first started. It looked like a 6-year-old had done it, but now it's, you know, it's something that's presentable. It's
so how many hours would go into the Prince guitar?
Oh gosh, probably 80.
Wow.
80 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
These are masterpieces.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm, it's a grind. It's a grind, but it's a therapeutic grind. You know what I mean? Like it's, there's parts of the process that I don't love, but for the most part, it keeps me coming back, because every time I finish one, I look at it and I'm like, how did that happen? Like I almost forget the process once I get to the end. I kind of forget how I got to the end result. Does that make sense?
Much more from Amy in a minute. Let's go ahead and roll this video. absolutely breathtaking. You and I were talking before the show. Your perfect client is the person who has everything. I mean, they could buy everything under the sun.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be, wealthy or whatever. It's just that person that you never really know what am I going to buy this person?
Wow.
Like they have really everything that they need or everything that they want. And it's something that you can really personalize to the person that is receiving it.
Yes.
Because anything can go on it. The possibilities are literally endless. From, a music band logo or a company logo or,
Yes.
a sports logo, and each guitar is unique. I don't duplicate designs because I can't. Like the glass that I buy it's all original. So one sheet is not the same as the next.
Yes.
So the ability to duplicate a design is nearly impossible.
Yes.
So that's kind of what makes it even cooler is that it's super unique and one of a kind.
All right, Amy, we're going to pull up your portfolio page off your website. And as we scroll down, I want to learn your method. So does the guitar speak to you? Does the guitar tell you what to add? Or how do you come up with these masterpieces?
It does in some way through the process. The first thing I start with is what I'm going to put on there, but I don't ever do renderings beforehand because it never turns out the same as what the end product looks like, right? So I don't want to set false expectations from the get-go because my process changes as I go because I see things and come up with different elements to really pull in the design that I'm trying to to put on there. So it's an ever evolving type situation, if you will. So yeah, it's nobody does what I do, which is kind of a blessing and a curse, and a blessing in that it's super unique and one of a kind. And I love that I am really the only artist out there that does this type of thing on a guitar. But also it's not like I have someone that I can call up and say, hey, have you tried this? And how did it work for you? I have to kind of figure it out as I go.
I mean, people commission and say, okay, I want something and I kind of need this logo in it or I need these colors. Is that how it works?
Absolutely. Like, they'll come to me and say, I want this particular design and this is kind of the color scheme I'm thinking of. And that's kind of where it stops. And then I just kind of have to figure it out from there. And I've done more than just guitars. Right now I'm working on a surfboard. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
Anything can be covered in glass, believe it or not. So yeah, it's interesting.
All right, what's it like when the client sees your masterpiece for the first time?
And that's the best part. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's they're blown away, for lack of a better word, which I love.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever had anyone go, "Oh, that's not really what I wanted,"
Yes.
Because again, it's hard to kind of visualize until it's finished.
Yes.
And again, that's why I don't do renderings, and I rarely show people the process because again, it's setting expectations and showing them things that may not look the same when it's all said and done.
All right, Amy, you're one of the few people who have gotten the privilege of exhibiting at the Louvre.
Yes.
So we're going to show some video and I'm going to have you narrate this. So when was this video shot and tell us about this high honor?
Yeah, so this was really cool. Focus Art Fair reached out to me. They chose 100 artists across the globe that are emerging artists, if you will, to participate in this art show at the Carousel du Louvre in the Louvre. So, it was a high honor and it was an amazing experience. My art bestie, her name is Daniela Pasqualini. Her and I do a lot of collaborations together, and she was also invited, and neither one of us knew we were invited. Wow. And then when the list came out of the artists that were participating, we saw that each other was on the list.
Wow.
And so we approached the art fair and we were like, how about if we do a collaboration for the show? So she had a couple of pieces of her artwork, I had a couple of guitars, and then her and I did a piece together. Wow. And then at the end of the show, they did a fashion show with the artwork, which was really cool. So they had models and they would model, the art. through the crowd, and it was really cool. So our collaboration was featured there. So
And I know
really
a
cool.
lot of your pieces are in private homes, but if somebody wanted to see it in a public place, I mean, they're on display around Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yes. So specifically at the Hotel Drover in Fort Worth, they have a 5-guitar display, which is where a lot of people see them. And I get a lot of inquiries, from that hotel. If you've never been, please go. It's the most dreamy of hotels. It's really, really, really cool, really beautiful. So that's one place you can definitely go. A lot of my work is featured more in Fort Worth than in Dallas, unfortunately, but hopefully that will change
that'll
as time
change.
goes on. Yeah.
Okay, so you're venturing into surfboards. I mean, do you see other canvases in the future?
I've done skateboards. I've done tables.
Wow, that's
yeah.
so cool.
Anything, anything that's made out of wood or any kind of substrate that will withstand the weight of the glass, and something that I can adhere the glass to is something that I can do my creations.
Well, I envy your vision and your talent. So we have a minute left. Final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
Just that they're unique pieces, and it's not your typical piece of art, which is what keeps me doing it. I love that it's different, and it's not your typical painting canvas that you put on a wall. And they're really beautiful. And what's cool about them is it's all hand cut glass that's put on the guitar. And so when the light hits it, it really, gives a vibrance, that you can, that is just remarkable. And sometimes it will shine a cascade, a rainbow on the wall behind it. So it's kind of like two art pieces in one, which is kind of cool. So yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you for sharing your vision and your incredible talents with our audience. We're going to end with her website, which is glassaxes.com. The great Amy Voss. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.